Hi everyone, my name is Love, and in this video I am going to share about my timeline and my experience when I was processing my NNAS. So in this video, I'll be just sharing what are the things that I did when I was processing. So everything is just based on my best knowledge back then, and some of the things that I did might help you too, to give you some idea on how to process your credentials to become a nurse here in Canada. So first of all, what is NNAS? NNAS stands for National Nursing Assessment Service. If you are an internationally educated nurse like myself, so I graduated from my Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree in the Philippines, who moved here in Canada. Like for example, for me to become a nurse here, I have to go through this credential assessment so I can start processing my license to become a nurse here in Canada. So this NNAS is the very first step that you need to do. So there are 3 roles that the NNAS do. This is according to their website. The first one is they verify your credentials. Second one, they compare your credentials to the Canadian standards. And number 3, they provide secure online storage for your education and registration. So basically, they are the one who will assess your credentials, your nursing practice in another country, so that they can compare if you can meet the Canadian nursing standards. You are eligible to apply if you graduated from a college or university nursing program outside Canada, have never worked as a nurse here in Canada, and you want to work as a registered nurse, a licensed practical nurse, or registered psychiatric nurse in Canada. So a little bit of a background about myself. I graduated from my BSN degree in the Philippines back in 2009, and I worked as a medical surgical nurse in the Philippines for 4 years. And then I moved to Abu Dhabi to become a home care nurse for 3 years before I went here to Canada as a permanent resident back in 2018. I was really planning to process my nursing here in Canada, but back then I didn't really understand how to process it at all, because like I don't have a lot of friends, or I did not know anyone who are also processing their nursing license here in Canada. Like most of my friends when I came here are also new here in Canada, and we are all clueless about what to do and how to start. I was thinking back then that I'm not sure if I want to process the nursing here, because I've been hearing that it is expensive, it is hard, especially here in Manitoba. As we all know, that the process here in Manitoba is very hard. With all honesty, I was discouraged. There are a lot of factors that are hindering me to start my application here. But then I realized that I don't want to regret. I don't want, like after 5 or after 10 years, wishing and hoping that what if I process my application to become a nurse here. That what pushed me. So I landed 2018, and I started my application after a year of thinking about it. What really helped me to start is the Facebook group Pinoy IENs for Canadian registration, a support group for Filipino nurses. It really helped me a lot. I mean, you can ask questions if you are confused with something, or you can read all the comments, read all the posts of other members there. I am really very clueless, and I don't know how to start. I don't know where to start, and I don't know what to do. I highly suggest that you become a member of that group. I was thinking of opening my NNAS account, but I was worried about my previous employment. I inquired through their customer support first, inquiring about what will I do if I have problem with my previous employer, because another story, I had a bad experience with my employer in Abu Dhabi, so I don't want to like connect with them again, and yeah, it's a sad story. So I emailed the NNAS regarding this matter, and they replied to me. They advised me that if my previous employer is unwilling or unable to complete the NNAS verification form, I should not list them in my experience. So it really saves me a lot of headache. I feel like it's a waste of my 3 years experience. After I left the Abu Dhabi and I went back to the Philippines, I think I have 3 months of vacation before I go here to Canada. What I did was I applied for a part-time job in my previous hospital in the Philippines for a month. That is my very recent nursing practice. After 6 months, March of 2019, I've decided to open my NNAS account. I paid $650 to open the account, but before I opened my account, I made sure that I read all the handbook, which you can find at the NNAS website, so that you will know what are the requirements, that what are the documents that you need to gather, that you need to submit to NNAS. So it's gonna save you time. Your account is active for 12 months. Once you open, you can only download the forms once you paid. So I opened my main application in Ontario, and then I also opened in Newfoundland and Manitoba, of course, for the RN. So I opened 3 provinces for my RN and 2 provinces for my LPN. For my LPN, I opened in Ontario and Manitoba. I would not suggest for you to do that because it's also a waste of money. So just focus on which province you really want to process your application. But for me, back then, like, I was just like following what other people are doing, what my other friends are doing, and we are all did the same mistake. So yeah, so for the fees, you can check the handbook too. The forms that you need to comply once you open your NNAS account. The nursing education form. So these are the forms that you need to fill out and send to where you graduated from your Bachelor of Science in Nursing. The other one is the nursing registration form. So this will you will send this form to the PRC. So the other one is the nursing practice employment form. So you will send this to all your previous hospital or previous nursing experience. I mailed all the forms to the Philippines in one package. I printed all the forms and I filled them out, I signed them, and then I sent everything in one mail via Canada Post with tracking and express delivery. I think it cost me around 70 Canadian dollars. I sent everything to my address in the Philippines, and I instructed my sister to go to my school, to my previous employer, and to PRC. It also includes the authorization letter and also a copy of my identification. So I'm not gonna tackle everything about the different forms because like the handbook is very handy and very self-explanatory. Just give instructions to those to your school or to your previous employer, but the PRC, they also already know what to do. And also there are other YouTubers who explained very well on how you will fill out the forms, so just watch their videos too. But for me, I'm just gonna share what I did during except the PRC are the one who will send the form directly to the NNAS. But for my previous employer and for my school, my sister had to pick them up, the forms, once they are done. She sent it via DHL Express with tracking too, and I think it cost me 3,000 pesos in 2 separate package. So for the identification that they accept are passport, driver's license, and other government issue identification. And the other forms of identification includes birth certificate, legal name change affidavit, marriage certificate, divorce decree. You need to provide 2 forms of photo. I think I submitted a passport and a birth certificate. And I went to a notarizing office here in Winnipeg. I just asked a couple of people that I know who are processing their license also here, who are also here in Winnipeg, where to go. And I think you can also do it in the Philippines, but for me, since I am already here in Winnipeg, I just asked them where I can go for notarization, and they referred me to this. I forgot the name of the lawyer, but he was so nice. There is no charge. I did not have any problem because there were also a lot of nurses, of internationally educated nurses, who went to him. So he already knows what to do and what to write on the notarization. So it really helped me a lot. On April 30th, 2019, I received an email from the CGFNS. They are saying that I submitted my birth certificate did not contain any clear visible image, so I resubmitted another form of identification. So make sure that the identification that you're going to send has a clear image and everything, like all the informations there, are clear. While I am processing the other documents, I am also studying for the English test. In Ontario, you can waive your English language, but for me, I don't want to do it. I want to take an exam. I don't know why. You should take the IELTS academic, not the general training, because the general training is for immigration purposes, and the NNAS requires you to submit an IELTS academic. It costs 319 Canadian dollars, and I took my IELTS academic in June 2019. Required lowest acceptable scores in IELTS academic are with overall of 7. But unfortunately, my results, I did not meet the required score. But I did not give up. I tried the CELBAN next. So CELBAN, which stands for Canadian English Language Benchmark Assessment for Nurses. This is more costly as compared to IELTS because CELBAN costs 395 Canadian dollars, and the required scores are, but I can tell that CELBAN is more easier for me as compared to IELTS, as for a person who took both of the tests. After 6 months of taking IELTS, I took the CELBAN December 6, 2019, and in God's grace, I got the scores that I need. So I requested CELBAN to send the result of my test to NNAS. And on December 17, 2019, I received an email from NNAS. So all my RN are not comparable, and LPN was somewhat comparable. So that was my timeline. So it took me 9 months to complete all the necessary requirements, to take the English test, and to complete the application for NNAS till I get my advisory report. So that is all for my timeline, my experience, and the tips that I can give on processing the NNAS application. I hope that this video helped you. I've been thinking about doing this for the past for the past year, but I don't have time to do it. And just feel free to contact me on my social media accounts or comment on the comment section down below. I will try my best to answer those questions. We all have different experiences with regards to our nursing practice. I would suggest that if you really are confused with your application to email the NNAS, because they are the ones and the best people that you can ask to if you have complicated situation. Yeah, so that is all for this long video. If you like this video, press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and share this to your friends, to your nurses friends. And take care everyone. God bless and good luck to your nursing journey.